Hello everybody, welcome to another Transformers third party review thanks to the team over at Shozy. We're taking a look at the X-Transbots Master X Series 86 Aerial Defense VIRTUS, aka Masterpiece Springer. Long time in the making, this guy. Nearly as long as Abaddon. A quick bio on the back along with some lovely artwork there. Got loads of the X-Trans figures fighting off against one another. Pretty much exactly what you'd expect from the X-Transbot boxes. Really nice package, very heavy. Lovely embossed image on the front. Let's crack him open. And here we have him out of his plastic prison, and he is a massive lump of a bot. Loads of die cast in this, by far the heaviest version of Springer that I've had. I just haven't tabbed this back in together properly after I transformed him. So, but there we go. I've put an insignia on the front there. Loads and loads of die casts on this. We've got rubber wheels. People have been having problems with these sections in here. These are die cast lumps. And some people have had paint chipping. Mine's got a little bit there, look. And a little bit over here as well. Has something to do with the size of those. Now, I believe they are sending out replacements. I'm hoping that the replacements are half yellow and half green, because or at least like with the green stripe down the middle, because Springer, the actual animation version, has those shoulders and they're yellow on either side with them the green in the middle. I know Sean, I'll include a link to some of his stuff that I've reviewed in the past. He's made some custom shoulders. They're made out of plastic. Now he's not sure if he's going to mass produce them, so it's dependent on what colour X-Transbot release the replacement shoulders in. If they did them in green and yellow, then there's no need for him really to do his. But if they just do them in the yellow, then he should then be doing his shoulders. So I'll be reviewing those when the set comes through anyway. But Springer is a lump, and he comes with loads of accessories. He comes with a really nice base stand, which apparently is a cat hair magnet. My cat must have been on my base, because it's hair is everywhere. We've got some accessories underneath. You see we've got space for the sword, 2 blasters, and those blast effects. We get a being human version of Springer. Really nice sculpt on there. Love that cut on the hair. I know they're giving us a Magnus figure to go with their release of Magnus as well. That's a really nice accessory. We get an IDW style head. Love that big chin that he's got on there. It's almost very kind of drift-like, isn't it? Head release is very easy when you get him in bot mode. It's twist to the side to allow this peg to line up with the exiting hole, and then the head will lift up. But that, again, that is a really nice sculpt on there. And then we get the various different replacement sculpts. Some designed to go with the normal Springer head, and some looking kind of more IDW. But that's a lot of nice pieces for a big lump of a bot. Now, this is my, what we have, 5th version of Springer I've owned. I think I had Unique Toys Alan, then I had the Toy World version, then we had the Open and Play version, and then the Air Waffle, which is the KO of Open and Play, and I have the Fans Toys version as well. So this is actually my 6th version. I haven't actually owned the MMC version, so that would be a 7th. So there's a lot of Springers on the market, but I've heard relatively mostly all good things about this. I personally absolutely adore the Fans Toys Springer, and haven't had this for a couple of days now. I'm still not entirely sure which one I'm going to keep as my main bot, but this is definitely a very close contender. the bot mode is just absolutely sublime. The vehicle modes look good. They do exactly what they need to, but it's the bot mode for me that separates this from the others. Just not sure at the moment if this is quite as versatile as Fans Toys Apache. Who, speaking of which, I already have in his bot mode. See, look at the vibrance difference in all these colours. I mean, the greens are all completely different. I think Apache is very close to the open and play colours, but something about the X-Trans colours, I think they are probably the closest. We're going to get to those animation stills, the kind of like from the Sunbow imagery. I think that's still the closest. We've got that really nice light grey in comparison to that kind of much darker grey, whereas the green itself is a much kind of deeper dark green. So a lot of different variations of this character, but all of them easily, instantly recognisable as Springer. Now on top of those accessories that I've shown you, he also comes with the helicopter blade as well, which I'll show you that when we get into helicopter form. For a size comparison, here we have MP10. So it's a good size figure. I mean, it depends what you want from your Springer. It's an expensive figure just to buy to have him in one of those vehicle modes, but when we get to bot mode, we'll see, is bot mode alone strong enough to maybe get your Fans Toys or your Open and Play or your MMC and use those as maybe a secondary bot, use those in vehicle form, or even sell them to get this. And let's not forget his massive great rocket that they load into that catapult when they attack Devastator. I still really would love a big version of that catapult. I know you can 3D print it, but that's going to be time consuming. Now, like most X-Transbot products, they do like to throw in some sneaky little extras. We do actually have the ability to get some lights in here. I don't have any of the batteries that fit these. They all seem to come in kind of slightly random sizes, but there's some little buttons in there and we can put lights on as well. Really gorgeous. I mean, the paint is pretty decent. Got a very kind of thin line around there. And I don't think I put my sticker on quite square, have I? I'd say it comes as a shock, but I'm not very good at putting stickers on. And we've got a QC pass there. Oh, nice. We've got the rubber underneath there as well to stop him slipping and sliding. Right, let's detach those tail fin sections like so and like so. These also come away from here and from here. That allows this section to come up. We can see like the cockpit piece here. See all of these hinges. Everything's very solid on here. I haven't found any hinges that really kind of scare me. Nothing feels like it's going to break. I do love the rubber tires on here as well. Anyway, we're going to want to bend these wheels in. Section comes out. This is going to come around and tab in. These then come out to the side, and this section here is on a sliding hinge. That's going to slide all the way out to the tip and bring this down and close that section off. You want to come around to these legs. These are going to open up. These separate like so. Lift up the hip skirts so we've got enough clearance, because this is going to come up, and the thigh piece is going to rotate all the way around, and this comes up. This is on a rotating hinge, so it rotates all the way out and then secures like so. This panel here is going to fold upwards and lock this tab here into position, and then those thighs are on a sliding hinge, so they slide like so, which means they get closer here in the center. So do that with both legs, slide them in so that when we bring these in, the thighs should then be touching. The wheels are going to fold down into this position, and if you look here, you've got this hinge here. Basically this needs to come up, and that's going to secure in there like so, and that just helps lock all of this section here into place. Then push and secure all of these sections in, making sure everything lines up as it should. Come on, there we go. There, everything should, he says, tab in firmly. Yep. There we go, that's all in. These tabs here are going to flip up and up, and making sure this waist is straight. This is going to come down and squaring everything off. Come on, make sure you're square, yep. Make sure these are all the way up. There we go. Come on, in you go. There we go. That's in. That's in there. This is going to tab in at the top end here, like so, and the top end like this. It comes down. That slides on and butts up against this section here. This comes down. This comes in, pushes the landing gear up and over and brings that down. So the landing gear is here, and the other side of the landing gear is here on the feet. Come on, they're always so stiff. Oh, gotcha. You basically rotate this section up and then around so it sits on the outside, although mine is quite loose, so that's not really going to support the weight. Right, so there we have it. We could get the sword, dependent on your choice here, and obviously you like pretty much every Springer release we've had. We can split the sword into a propeller, and that can twizzle around. I can just slide in, and then we've got a propeller in there, or we get all of the pieces to build this. You get a centerpiece, and then you get all of these additional segments, and then like so. And then this is a very cool look for Springer. It's almost like all of his blades are already rotating. We've got a tab on that crotch piece, so this can just peg in on there, and there we have Springer in his helicopter mode in all its glory. I mean, that's one of the strongest modes for this. I still think the bot mode is the best mode, but that's pretty darn decent, isn't it? I mean, huge rotor blade sections aside, his vehicle mode absolutely towers over the likes of the open play one, and in my opinion it's much more like his animation model. It's pretty darn close. It's not completely there. I mean, I'm not sure I like what was going on with those top pieces, but it still looks sublime. Because I had him to hand, is the Boateng F15 jet. Still a gorgeous alt mode. And of course, good old MP10. That is beautiful, isn't it? Now when we get this arrives separate. There's a circle piece in the center, and then we have almost like these pizza slices. They slide into these two grooves on the circle piece, and then they have 3 lips on one side. They have 2 that go over the next piece and 1 that goes under. And then basically you slide in, hook, slide in, hook, and you make all your way around until you're left with a very nice propeller. And when you insert it into Springer, you see on the back here, there is a curvature that goes to the curvature is facing his back. That's the only way that will slide in. But that's a really nice little added section. Right, to get him transformed up into his bot mode, you want to basically reverse what we did. So almost get him back to the top half, ready for car mode. So untab, untab, and flip this section up. And we have these pieces here. These are going to slide back in. And this is going to slide back into this green section, like so. Come on, all the way down, please. All the way down. There we go. That's in. This opens up. This comes back in, like this. And this closes off. These are going to rotate around so that it faces down. This is going to come in and basically slide down this shaft here. Before we do that though, this piece here is going to it's going to come down like so. Come down. This comes up, and this piece here is going to fold under on itself. So bring that in, gives us enough room to work with here. This thing comes around, and you want to bring that up so it's all the way up on this hinge here, so that when this is brought over and this one's brought over, they can all sit nice and high up on that backpack piece, like so. Unhook, detach, and separate the legs at all of the attaching points. Move this section out, push those thighs back in. These all go back to the positions they were in, same as these sections here. Remember, we pushed that in to lock that into place. Do that again, just working the reverse. The section on the back of the leg opens, which allows the leg to actually come all the way up. So this rotates and is now on the inside of that leg. Then allows it to come over, like so. Like this. This thing comes up, and that's going to push, tab, and secure. Foot can then come down, tab, close off these legs. There's a section just in here that pushes inside, and then this section here is going to flip around and just come up to the back, and we can just straighten this piece out. Coming to the upper torso, we can bring this section back. This is going to come detached like so, and then you can see the slight pieces of damage on some of those shoulder sections there. This needs to come up This needs to come up, giving it a little poke from the other side should allow these to come through. There we go. And come through. Here we go. This is going to extend fully. And that rotates. This comes up and pushes, locks and secures, and then that comes down. That is a really gorgeous transformation for those arms. Really fantastic use of space. Again, on this side then it's going to rotate like so. It's going to come up and it's going to push and secure like this. Excuse the legs. There we go. This is going to come down to the front. This comes up like so. Head rotates and rotates. This is going to come up. This is going to come up. And as you can see, that's going to form the neck area. Looking at the back of the arms, this hinge rotates. There we go, and then tabs in. So you have to get it past that latch to then get it to tab in there and hold in firmly. So past that latch and then slide that down and then push and secure that in. This piece here is going to come all the way down, and there's these tabs here that should, he says, line up nicely on that torso. Come on, slide that down, slide that down. There. Push up these green sections, which then tally up with these pieces on the reverse. There we go, pushing, tabbing and securing into place. And as you can see here as well, there's a small tab that folds out behind the head. That's going to form the back of that neck piece. I've got some paint flecking on there. Look. Chest sits, it doesn't really lock in though, it just kind of slides into that void there. That's how my top looks. I'll push this down so it sits against this yellow section. And this one on mine doesn't really slide square into there, but that is him transformed up. Adore that sculpt. And here he is next to his closest rival, in my opinion, and that's in the form of Apache. It's a lot more slender, isn't he? I think the proportions are much nicer on X-Transbots. Apache is a solid Springer without a shadow of a doubt, but really maybe too bulky. It looks like he's been lifting a lot of kind of energon weights and packing on the energon protein. He's not as big as Unique Toys Alan, I mean, but that again was a really nice take on Springer. But it's just something about how slender the proportions look. Backpack's still back chunk, isn't it? You know, a lot going on there, but considering what it does, I think they've done a really nice job. I do love the colours on both, but again, this one, in my opinion, is probably closer to what we got with the animation model. Now, as gorgeous as it looks, I mean, there's no denying that it does really look good. There's some very odd design choices, some that I personally would not have gone with. My biggest gripe on this figure is this. That is the first ratchet. That's not good. It needs to be switched out. I've been told that if we flip the ratchets, they'll work as a friction joint, so that way we can bring them out much smoother. I mean, it's nice to have nice ratcheted legs, but I don't think it's necessary. Forwards, yes, and backwards, yeah, I agree with that. But I like to have that kind of around there-ish to make it a much more kind of natural stance, because at the moment there's nothing natural about that big kind of jump between the two. Knees, again, really nice, smooth ratchets on those. Feet, up, down, left and right, and some nice pivots. We've got these heel spur sections which can flip out. No real actual heel spurs there, but you've got so much going on with the base of the feet there that nothing's really needed. There is a waist rotation. There is a really nice abdominal crunch on there as well. So you can really pull that section forwards. We've got rotation on the wrists. We've got articulated fingers at 3 points. There is a double jointed bend on the elbow. There's a rotation at the upper bicep. And then we've got friction joints rotating around, out to the side. The only thing we're really missing from up the top here is a butterfly joint to really bring them around. But you can kind of double up this joint. It goes in enough, which then brings the arms right round to the front. But it's not actually a butterfly joint. And the head can look up and down. It can slide forwards and backwards, doing the funky chicken. And we can look left and we can look right now to get the head off there. You want to rotate that up and just slide that out, and the other head goes in, same but different, so pop that in and rotate that around, and then we've got the kind of very IDW inspired head. See, that's actually a really nice looking sculpt, but there's just not enough of that IDW kind of look to him really to warrant that head, I don't think. Just pop face sculpt off, and we can put a kind of stern face in there. So he doesn't have, I do love the proportions on this. And the way the chest slants down. Still would have loved green on here. This is yellow, yellow, and then green in the middle. I think that would be more screen accurate. We have a section here that's a plug so that the propeller blades can plug in. And another issue I'm having, and I've heard that I'm not alone, is that the tab on the hand, I flick this around so it's flat either way, and the notches are actually too big to go into the holes on the hands. There's no way of getting those in. I mean, I close the fingers up around the hand so you can kind of be posed with the sword, but it just comes straight out of those tabs, unfortunately. So for now, it's a double pistol job for me. I mean, he does look awesome wielding those, doesn't he? And to give you all an idea of scale, I haven't got all of my figures down. Still the likes of Ultra Magnus and Blaster, etc. to put in the mix, but it gives you an idea of how he looks with some other versions of the characters. We've got a mix here of Takara, X-Transbots, Unique Toys, and of course Fans Toys as well. So yeah, it's a really good looking piece. I mean, the animation style is absolutely sublime, and we've got two very good Perceptors from X-Transbot and of course Fans Toys. We've got the Cup, again mine for version 1. I believe version 2 is a better version. Don't have it to hand, don't own it, so I couldn't actually confirm or deny that. And of course I've got my Masterpiece RC versus Fans Toys RC, Masterpiece RC having that chest upgrade, and my Masterpiece Fans Toys version of Hot Rod having those shoulder upgrades from Sean. So there's a lot going on there, but that gives you a good idea of how he will fare size wise. And we'll just stick TE01 in the middle there as well, just to finish it all off. All of these are good. As collectors, we're really blessed with choice, aren't we? We've got so much on offer, lots of different price points. Haven't actually got many of the MMC ones, but I've heard good things about those as well, so the options are definitely out there. I just don't want people to judge others for going down a certain route. You know, now's a good time to be a fan. Let's all just appreciate that options are out there. I mean, there's at least seven versions of Springer at the moment, so wow. Hey, just take this time to enjoy the figures. Thanks again to ShowZ for making this review possible. I have included a link in the description below where this can be purchased. I have a couple of other items coming from ShowZ currently en route, including the new KO version of the Beast Wars Masterpiece Cheetor. I think it's called something like Angry Leopard or something like that. But until that arrives, thank you all very much for taking the time out of your busy lives and watching my content. For myself and the rest of the Collectables household, thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye.